Okay, YouTube, this video is for Mr. Mrjohndeere3720. He wanted to know how to wire a power port thing, whatever, cigarette lighter thing, how to hardwire it. You guys all know what these are called. I'm having a brain fart over here. But he wants to take the wires from the power port and hardwire them. He said he didn't know how, so I'm going to explain it. This is this is from a million candle watt light, but I used it for snow plowing, so the connector's pretty messed up from salt and everything, so I don't really care about it. This connector has some sort of bolt holding it together. Most of them you just twist off over here and a fuse will come out. Hold on, I'll get one to show you. See, like this just twists off, and make sure you catch everything that comes out. And there's going to be a fuse, a glass fuse. When you take it out, you're going to need to know what amps the fuse is, and I'll explain what that's for in a later step. But if you read in the silver thing, which you're not going to be able to see in the GoPro, but if you read in here, you'll know. So I'll just put this back together because this I actually use. Just give me a second. Make sure everything goes in. Of course, I probably just broke this. Anyway, so you put the fuse in, you put your spring back in here, and you would screw it back together. That's how you would put you'd put it back together. In your case, you just want to take it apart. More than likely you have the screw-in ones like this, but that's regardless. This one, it has a bolt. You can see right here. I'm gonna have to just break this apart. I don't want it anymore anyway, so whatever you have to do to open yours, you're gonna open it up like this. You're going to pry it apart because you're not going to need the power port part anymore. So just give me a second. Of course, nothing wants to cooperate. Why would it? So however long it takes to get your thing apart, this is what you're going to do. You're going to open it whatever way you can. And this is going to determine how you figure out which wire is which. So you see you have two wires. There's this one which goes to this tab on the outside. This is your ground. The other wire, your positive, always goes to this button on the end of your adapter. So if you're looking at it closed, whatever wire goes to these things on the side is your ground. This is your ground. It grounds into the cigarette lighter in here on the sides. The wire that goes to this little button is your positive, and that makes contact in here in the middle. That's your positive. So you want, when you take your wires apart, since they're the same color, see both are black, your ground is always this long part over here. Your positive is always the button. It's never opposite. The positive wire is the button. They can be the same color, it doesn't matter. You just have to have the wire that goes to the button. That's your positive. So if you were to hardwire it into Big Red or in a car, anything, this will work on anything. You mark this and make sure this is your positive, this is your negative. So your negative is going to go to wherever you ground, however you grounded your CB or the negative terminal, the battery, whatever way you want to ground it. So then you take your positive wire, and when I said about the fuse, which I can't find it in here, which ironically, I don't think this has a fuse, which is kind of stupid. So your cigarette lighter is fused in a car, but you still want a fuse. I think so anyway. So you would take whatever your lights are fused to, you would take the same fuse, whatever amps it is, if it's a 10 amp, a 15 amp, a 20 amp, you would take your positive wire and wire it to an inline fuse holder and put a 20 amp fuse or 15 amp or whatever your lights are, whatever amp fuse your lights are recommended for, that's what you would do. So you wire your positive to the fuse holder, a 15 amp fuse. I'll post some pictures of what I'm talking about too. So you would wire this to a fuse holder, put your fuse, then you take the other end of the fuse holder and you would wire that to your battery if you wanted it to work without it running, or if you wanted to run with only the key on, then you have to find an accessory wire to tap into. But I would just wire it to the battery as long as you have a fuse, and just make sure that you turn them off so your battery doesn't die. But that's the basic idea. I'll post a couple pictures. I'll edit the video to have some pictures of the fuse holder type I'm talking about, and you would also on the fuse holder, wherever you put the side of the fuse holder that you wired to the battery, you would have to put a on and off switch in there. So any kind of toggle switch, whatever kind of switch you like, that's what you would do. Alright, so I'll post some pictures in this video of switches and the fuse holder I'm talking about. So hopefully that helps. And this is garbage now, so I'm going to throw that away.